Ladies and gentlemen, we are live!
Welcome everyone to the BX Sports JEDI MMA Weekly with Austin and Chef Dan. I am Austin. This is my co-host Chef Dan. How you doing tonight, Chef Dan? And how was your weekend?
I'm doing great. My weekend was great. I was able to watch some good MMA fights. I was highly entertained by what I saw, not only in the main event but in some of the preliminaries as well. So I'm ready to get right into it. How about you?
Doing well today, and my weekend was great. Obviously saw good MMA as well with Eagle FC and also the UFC this past Saturday, and also also had a little fun event at MegaCon, which I did a whole nother video about that. That's something to talk more about in another video. But I had a good time. It's like Comic Con for the Orlando area. If that makes sense, you're wondering what MegaCon is.
Yeah, it sounds dope. We can get into that later on then.
Yeah, okay. So we want to start with Eagle FC first and just...
Yeah, of course. That's, the usual. We get right into what happened on Friday. I want to start off with the main event because this one to me was, it was just unfortunate. It really was to me. Yorgan De Castro versus Junior Dos Santos in the heavyweight division. Yorgan De Castro wins this one via TKO. Due to a shoulder injury. I think Junior Dos Santos threw his shoulder out while he was jabbing and throwing punches at Yorgan. But I mean, Austin, to me, man, Junior Dos Santos looked really, really good. This was his fight. This really was his fight. I felt like he looked really, really good. Yorgan De Castro had no answer for the boxing of Junior Dos Santos. He had no answer for the leg kicks of Junior Dos Santos. He had no answer for the grappling that Junior Dos Santos provided for him. It was really Junior Dos Santos' fight. He was winning this fight convincingly to me. And it was just unfortunate that, he lost this via TKO, but it doesn't deter me from seeing another Junior Dos Santos fight in Eagle FC. I can say that much.
I totally agree with you there. It doesn't deter me from wanting to see Junior Dos Santos fight again, Eagle FC. And Junior looked very well in this fight. Like I said, stand-up wise, Junior was better, landed more shots, more crisp shots. Yorgan De Castro was coming at him, and that's the shoulder injury. That's after the fight called off. You can see his right shoulder, a little part of it sticking out the bone there.
Yep.
You can see it's not good. It sucked. It sucked for Junior. It sucked for us fans to see that happen to Junior, because Dan was mentioning, Junior looked well in this fight. And like I was saying, Yorgan, at times did come forward. And when he came forward, he was throwing heavy shots. He missed a lot of them. Some of them he connected with Junior. and they somewhat did hurt Junior a little bit, but not too much. Like Junior's able to avoid like other shots from De Castro, but yeah, Junior was like winning this fight. You know, stand up battle, taking him apart, throwing leg kicks. I mean, the Castro switched stances after a certain time, a certain amount of leg kicks he took from his his left leg because they were hurting Castro badly. And then you have then you know the grappling. Junior initiated grappling, did pretty well there. And Junior just won this fight. Just that he drew a right hand and just his shoulder went out of place after throwing a right. After that, yeah, the fight was called off. And it sucks to see a fight end because of the injury. I mean, we were talking about this last week with Rakic and Jan Blachowicz in that main event, where Rakic has, you know, hurt injured his knee and the fight was called off. It sucks here because Junior was clearly winning. He was about to win, and he had won his fight. Habib Nurmagomedov was going to talk to Scott Coker and set up Fedor and Junior Dos Santos next, which would be a pretty, you know, cool fight to see. Both guys who are legends and heavyweights fighting each other. I know they're not their primes anymore, but it's still, you know, two of the top 10 heavyweights in MMA history, and seeing two legends fighting each other, especially if both guys were come off victory, would be pretty damn nice. But unfortunately, it looks. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I just want to ask you a question after you say that.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it would have been such a big, cool fight to see, especially co-promotion between Bellator and Eagle FC, which you don't see too many like American, like, or really North American like promotions do cross promotions. Oh, excuse me, or cross promotions. Period. I mean, Bellator has done some with Ryzen. That's the only ones like recent memory. Just typically you don't see it, so it'll be like a cool thing to see. But yeah, Junior Santos. I mean, sucks for him. Shoulder injury. Hopefully it can get healed quickly. He was trying to put it back, pop it back in place. Even if he does, I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take to recover. If they will pop it back in place, not a doctor. I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, it sucks for Junior, and Jorge Castro does get a victory over a legend Junior. So feel good for him.
I just want to ask you a question though. Let's say Junior heals back quick and he gets back into the ring and gets another victory. Does that really deter you from, like, the fact that he lost to Jorge De Castro? Does it even really, does it right now deter you from wanting to see him versus Fedor?
No, if he gets another victory, then I definitely want to see him and Fedor fight for sure. No, you're good, for sure. And even you can somewhat make a case for him and Fedor because yeah, he lost, but he lost due to injury. It wasn't like he got beat. It wasn't like De Castro caused the injury. Junior just threw a punch and his shoulder just went out of his socket. That's all it was, which is unfortunate for Junior. But it's not like he lost because of that. I mean, a lot of people's minds, people who know about this, are going to think, oh, he lost because of that. And if they see the fight or see, you know, people talking about it, they're going to know that Junior was doing very well before the injury. So you can maybe sell the fight like that with Fedor and Junior as Junior's next fight potentially. You could still somewhat sell it.
Yeah, it doesn't deter me from wanting to see Junior fight Fedor at all.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see it. Who knows? We'll be in Bellator or Eagle FC, or maybe, you know, it would be in Russia or here in the States. It doesn't matter. We'd definitely like to see that fight. It'd be kind of a cool fight to see.
Most definitely. But from there, we can move on to the next fight. Hector Lombard versus Thiago Silva. This one ends in a no contest via a legal knee. And was it Hector Lombard that threw the illegal knee?
No, Silva did. Silva threw the illegal knee at Lombard.
Yeah. But I think going into the Hector Lombard had essentially won the first round. He was looking very good there. Sorry, let me put that back up. He was controlling it via his grappling, and then Silva was starting to come on into the second round. So it was about to be a 1-1 toss-up, but then Silva threw the illegal knee, like you said. I definitely remember it going towards a toss-up, and this wasn't the highest level fight, but it was a back and forth fight. I can say that much.
Yeah, it was definitely back and forth fight. Lombard won the first round. and Lombard was doing well in the first round, but as the second one ran on, you could see it was starting to become Silva's fight. As Silva was starting to do better and catching Lombard and hurt him. As Lombard seemed like to gas after the first round, it seemed like to me, and then once they got on the ground and Lombard got on the ground, then Silva threw that illegal kick. That it was a kick, right, or was it a knee?
Knee, illegal knee.
Okay, it was a knee. Once you do that knee, it was basically, before that, Silva was doing well, so I'm trying to say. Then once he threw on Lombard, the fight was stopped. Although it seemed like Lombard, the way his reactions, it almost seemed like he was. Some people were saying he might have played it up a little bit, Lombard. That's what some people are saying. Because even though it landed, it seemed like to some people it wasn't super vicious like Jan's knee against Aljamain Sterling last year, where that was very vicious when he landed that and Sterling was down.
I mean, but see, even then, people were calling Aljamain a faker for that. And you saw how vicious that was. So, I mean, damage is really, it's, you can't tell damage. It's only based on the person feeling the damage. You can't tell a person that that they're faking a certain amount of damage. I mean, to a certain degree, yeah, you can, but
I mean, it was rule no contest, the Silva and Lombard fight, and because it was accidental, you could tell Silva when he was throwing the knee, trying to stop himself from connecting, but it was too late at that point, and once he connected, it was basically the end. It was the end of the fight. It sucks that the main event, so the UFC and the co-main event end without conclusive finishes. I mean, yes, the Castro won the fight, but it was due to a shoulder injury from Junior. It wasn't like the Castro did something to win the fight. And then he got no contest in a very entertaining co-main event. It sucks. I mean, it sucked considering this fight was not bad, and the Castro and the Santos fight was pretty good, especially seeing Junior fight very well.
He looked very good, but we could definitely move on from that fight there. Going to the next fight on the main card, Maki Potolo versus Doug Uscher. Maki Potolo wins in the first round, TKO via punches. And Maki was just all over him. This was quick. This was one-sided.
It was one-sided and quick and just easy. I mean, man.
Yeah.
He called him with a left hook and just dropped him, and then just threw 1-2 shots after he was down, and it was over. You see this image there. For those of you watching, you see the image of Uscher being dropped after Maki landed that shot, and damn, I mean, when you want to talk making a name for yourself in a card like this, considering Maki Potolo was exactly well known prior to this fight, and definitely made a name for himself here on a big card, UFC. That impressive knockout. I mean, my gosh, whew, what a knockout! Yeah, watch that. Go check it out, because it's only 30 seconds. It's worth watching. Yeah, that knockout was impressive.
Once again, look, it's here, 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 here.
He fell like timber.
Yep. That's Maki Potolo, ladies and gentlemen.
What a name for himself. What a name he made for himself, Maki Potolo. 30 seconds. It's crazy that this fight, and then there's another fight that happened in this main card that ended in 30 seconds via TKO and KO, which, how often does that happen where you have two fights end within the same time, 30 seconds, or under a minute in the same round, like round one by KO?
It's rare, but then again, these guys are very, very good at their craft. There's even another fight there that I gotta say is I believe is really, this guy is really, really good in the way he approached it. I don't know his went past the minute mark, but he was very, very aggressive in how he approached his. But yeah, salute to Maki Potolo. We're definitely gonna check out more of his fights.
Yep, definitely. Exactly. He made a name for himself and impressed a lot of us, and definitely gonna want to check him out when he fights next in the UFC. Wherever the next UFC card is in the United States. or maybe fights in Russia in UFC. Who knows? But
Most definitely. But we could move on from that fight to the next fight on the main card. Andrew Sanchez versus Gabriel Checco. Andrew Sanchez wins his fight via unanimous decision, and my issue with this fight isn't even the fight itself. My issue with this fight was Chael Sonnen's commentary.
what happened? I didn't see this fight. What happened with Chael's commentary?
All right, I'm gonna let you know right now. This was also like a bit of a dominant fight. Andrew Sanchez had Gabriel Checco figured out. The only times that Gabriel Checco gave himself a bit of a chance was like in the grappling stages, but there was non-existent offense in the grappling. It was just essentially holding on for dear life. You tell what it was. So
Okay.
now when you're watching Andrew do what he does, you're like, this guy is dominant. Like it's not something where like he's a clear step ahead of this guy, but in just the stand-up phases, he is just dominant and winning. He's got him. But Chael kept arguing for Gabriel Checco to get a chance, and you have Triple C, Henry Cejudo, and the other announcer. I don't remember his name, but both of them are looking at Chael and they're like, "Chael, buddy, it's not his night. It's not his night."
It was Kamaru Usman. I know it was Cejudo, Chael, Kamaru, and I forget the play-by-play guy. I apologize.
Yeah. No, I think Kamara had joined after this fight. But
okay.
yeah, but they had to keep telling Chael it's not his night. He's like, yeah, but I know, but in the grappling exchanges, if we could Chael, there was no offense in the grappling. And Cejudo, where he's telling me, Uncle Chael, I'm sorry. I don't think he has this one. It's like, yeah, but if you go to decision, it might, but nah, it was, unanimous decision, and that was a good victory for Andrew Sanchez.
Okay, yeah, I didn't see this fight, unfortunately, but I didn't know about the Chael. That's why I didn't know about the Chael comments during this fight. I thought the commentary of Chael, Cejudo, Kamaru Usman, and the play-by-play guy, which I apologize for not remembering your name. I thought they were good. I enjoyed it. So
yeah, no, they're great. I love the fact like they have those guys, especially Chael, because he likes kind of telling a story within the fight.
yeah.
So it's very, very, it's fun. Henry Cejudo, you know how technical he is with his eye, and we see that he's training other fighters now, and other fighters are trusting his tutelage and trusting the fact that he can corner them. So he is very, very astute in the game, and he can give very good details and what some guys should progress towards in the fight and things of that nature, what they should be seeing versus what they are seeing right now. Kamaru Usman, the very same thing. But he loves deferring to those guys and giving them the shine and letting them talk and things of that nature, and what he would do and what reminds him of. Kamaru Usman is very, very smart in his fight history. He can recall what a certain where this situation, where it likens to in a previous fight, and what someone could take from in that fight. So he's a great historian of the game. Play-by-play guy, he's awesome too. But for that fight, Chael was kind of egging it on a little.
Okay, yeah. But I was saying I enjoyed all of them. I thought they all bounced off each other very well. They didn't interrupt each other, because a four-man booth is sometimes doesn't work. Whether it be pro wrestling or MMA or boxing, we have four guys speaking. Sometimes they bounce off, they cut each other off and things like that. But they work well together, all of them. It was entertaining, and I could definitely see Kamaru Usman when he retires to just transition to commentary, because he seems to be very good at it. It's like it's an easy transition for him, and Henry Cejudo too, despite coaching, despite him coaching and him coming back as well. He definitely continue doing commentary. I mean, and Chael's good as well, and it's just good. It's very good. They make it exciting. Like, the fights were good, but the commentary, I feel like it added to the excitement a little bit. I don't know if you agree with that. I don't know if those of you who watch the event can agree to that. Let us know in the comment section if that's the case.
Yeah, their commentary was spot on, and I loved every bit of it.
Yeah, me
with
too.
the with just I gotta say caveat with the exception of this fight right here. But from there we could move on to the first fight on the main card. This one also ended very quickly. Ahmed Aliev versus Daryl Horcher. Ahmed Aliev wins this fight in 30 seconds via TKO, punches and bunches, man.
Yep.
Ahmed Aliev, this guy is I remember saying this earlier, like this is a guy you should watch out for as well.
Oh, really?
Yes, because he was someone that I've seen on the American cards in Eagle FC so far, and he's been very impressive in his approach, and it looks like he's only going to get better and better. As you see him delivering the punches there to Daryl Horcher.
Yeah, I mean, he did a combination right, right and left, 1-2 combination that dropped him, and then that first ground and pound punch after Horcher was the ground, that first shot while Horcher was the ground, that basically put Horcher away, and then he landed another one. So the ref tried to separate him. I mean that he showcased his power. You want to talk about another guy making a name for himself on this card, who some people weren't too familiar with. I mean, obviously you were based on watching him previously in UFC, but even if you were familiar with him, he really stood out here with that 30-second knockout over Daryl Horcher, a guy who fought in the UFC, a guy who actually fought Khabib Nurmagomedov on short notice back in 2016. Him and Tony were supposed to fight. One of the many times they were supposed to fight that didn't happen, which is unfortunate for us. But yeah, Horcher stepped in and fought Khabib. It was kind of weird and cool to see Horcher fighting Khabib's organization all these years later after fighting each other. But it did not go well for Horcher, just like the Khabib fight. Unfortunately, he got knocked down in 30 seconds by Ahmed Aliev, who made a name for himself, looked very well. Gotta give him a shout out there. What a way to make a name for yourself, you're Ahmed. He's got a great nickname too, Butcher.
Yeah. Other than that, that was the main card of Eagle FC. Salute to Khabib Nurmagomedov. He was also making sure. I know in UFC they highlight certain people's tweets when they hashtag UFC. He was highlighting random people's tweets, and I had my phone. I was watching it, and I was calling the Rangers game at the same time, so I couldn't let off a tweet. But I definitely wanted to because I knew that there was some chance of me making it on the FLX cast as well. But yeah, that was a great main card. Other than that, in the preliminaries, there is only one fight I want to shout out because this guy, I said this as well. This guy, he should have been on the main card. Very, very good fight. Islam Mamedov versus Zach Zane. He wins this fight in 1 minute and 50 seconds via rear naked choke. And Islam Mamedov, ladies and gentlemen, he's aggressive. He had that Khabib, that Islam Makhachev, that walk up on you, striking. I'm going to get you into where I want to, and just got him immediately in the rear naked choke. And Zach Zane had no choice but to tap. Look how tight that is. He has the body triangle in cinch. Fundamentals there are tight. This guy was very, very impressive.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I was about to say I saw this fight, and Mamedov looked impressive. He was very aggressive, like Khabib and Islam Makhachev are. And I'm glad to see that, considering his last fight was against Benson Henderson, where he lost a close fight where he wasn't aggressive enough. Where now that he definitely learned from that mistake, that fight back in January in Bellator, and came in was super aggressive against Zach Zane and was able to put him away in under 5 minutes in a round, and a very tight rear naked choke. I mean, you saw the image if you're watching us. It was tight, arm body triangle, and yeah, Zach Zane had no choice to tap, or else he could be put to sleep. Great victory for Islam Mamedov, a bounce back victory. As he improves his records, I believe 21-2 now, if I'm mistaken.
Give me one moment, let me check. Yep, 21-2. You're absolutely correct.
Yep, still dominating. Well, he got a bounce back victory. Hopefully, continue to dominate like he was prior to that Benson Henderson loss back in January. It's kind of crazy that Islam, Mammadov, and Makhachev only have 3 losses combined. Your name's Islam, and you're from Dagestan. You tend to do great. Seems like.
Let's not let's not stereotype them like that. But they are producing some very good fighters out there in Dagestan. Salute to whatever they got in the water over there.
Or the mountains.
Wrestling bears and whatnot.
Yep.
I mean, but from there, is there any other fight in the preliminaries that you want to give a shout out to?
No, that was the one. Islam Mammadov and Zach Zane fight.
Yes. All right. So with that, we're finished with the Eagle FC card. Salute to the rest of the victors on the card. Roosevelt Roberts, he had a great victory, decision unanimous. Ronnie Marks, salute to him. He had a victory. Reggie Pena ended up suffering a knee injury, so that was a TKO there via knee injury. Adi Ali, salute to him. He defeated Sean Bunch, and Sean Bunch was a highly touted guy, but he just, it was a dominant performance against Sean Bunch. So, salute to him. And Dylan Mantello, salute to him. He got a victory as well, though it was due to doctor stoppage, but he definitely provided the damage that made the doctor stop it. But from there, we can move on from that fight, from that card, to what happened Saturday afternoon. Started off at 4 p.m., the preliminaries. The card started off at 7. Holly Holm versus Caitlin Vieira. Controversial fight. A highly controversial fight.
Oh yeah, it definitely was controversial. A lot of people didn't agree with the judges' scorecard here. It was very for those who don't know, Caitlin Vieira wins this fight via split decision, 48-47, 2 judges' scorecards, where one judge gave to Holly Holm 48-47. I personally thought that the right person won, the right woman won. I thought Caitlin did enough to win. I feel like Caitlin, to me, won arguably the first 3 rounds, and then the last 2 was Holly Holm rounds. Into the first round, Holly Holm did have a lot of octagon control, in terms of clinching position, where she put Caitlin against the fence. I feel like Holly didn't really do anything with that. She never took her down at any point. She never held her on the ground. They were just against the fence, and she just threw knees to the thigh at time. But other than that, Holly really didn't do anything. She might land maybe 1 or 2 punches to the face. Caitlin threw several body kicks, not body kicks, knees to the body. Even before the clinch, it was she landed a couple strikes in that first round, and that's why I kind of gave it slightly to Caitlin Vieira. And then round 2 was clearly her round. I mean, she put a rear naked choke that was tight. Even wasn't for a long time, but still, she had a rear naked choke where Holly Holm's face was reddish, pinkish, she looked like she was in trouble for a brief moment. But give Holly credit, she escaped. But Caitlin didn't exactly Holly didn't do much in that round. In round 3, I feel like Caitlin won that round. I feel like she did more in that round. And then round 4, it was close. I thought Holly did enough to win. I thought Holly landed more strikes. I believe Holly knocked her down. Well, with a side kick, a side kick to her gut. I think it was the 4th round, if I'm mistaken. You remember that part, right? Where Holly threw the side kick to the body and Caitlin fell down?
That was in the 3rd round, I believe.
That round? Okay. I do remember round 4, Holly started letting go and actually connecting a little bit more against Caitlin Vieira. Although in this fight, it seemed like Holly didn't have a lot of head movement in this fight, which is kind of surprising, considering Holly's a Hall of Fame boxer and has won multiple championships in multiple weight classes in boxing. And boxers, that's one of the first thing they teach you is head movement, obviously. And she didn't exactly have it in this fight. Where other fights, her head movement was always on par. You watch her previous fight, she didn't exactly have it a lot here. There were several times where Caitlin got her, and she stunned Holly just for a brief second. And in that 5th round, Holly took the round over. It was very close. It's been the last 2 minutes. Holly did more in that fight, and just was able to outstrike Caitlin Vieira in that 5th round. But I thought the first 3 rounds were Caitlin Vieira rounds, and I thought the judges got it right. It was close though. I know I can kind of get why some people thought round 1 was Holly's, But also, I think a lot of people thought it came out in round 3. We thought won round 3, according to some people. Well, to the judges, I think the judges gave round 1 to Holly, and round 2 Caitlin, and then round 4 and 5 was to. No, I'm trying to remember. Round 5 was to Holly, the judges gave, and then round 4 gave to Caitlin. It was the third round, so the third judges disagree based on the judges' scorecard. That's what I saw, but I thought Caitlin won the first 3 and Holly won the last 2. What are your thoughts on this fight, Dan? Who you thought won, and why you think they won?
This was a different Holly Holm for sure. Dean Thomas was saying it on the cast, and it was, looking through fruition. Holly definitely looked a step slower. It looked like some of the power wasn't there. Age is definitely catching up to her. She's a 40-year-old fighter. It looked like a different Holly Holm. But that being said, I completely disagree with the judge's decision. I thought Holly Holm won this fight. I thought she won the first round because she had octagon control and she was providing damage. It isn't just octagon control. She was definitely providing damage. She was throwing the knees. She was throwing punches. And that was a lot of the way she controlled in the third round as well. I thought she won the third round via doing that as well, because Caitlin was very, very content in staying in the clinch. And in that clinch, Holly was doing enough work that the referee saw fit not to break it because it wasn't just idle clinching. The same type of work that he saw in the first round. And even after watching the first round yet again, I saw Holly doing the same thing. She saw that her way of victory in the beginning was the clinch. And then even in the third round, she had the moment where she knocked down Caitlin Vieira with the side kick. I thought she won that round, and clearly the fifth round she won it. I thought she won round 1, 3, and 5 because she maintained octagon control and she was providing damage. And even furthermore, when you looked at the significant strike count, I know Caitlin Vieira outstruck her in the head area, fine, but everywhere else, statistically, Holly was better than her. I literally, the numbers don't lie, and the tape didn't lie to me. I thought Holly Holm won this fight.
I'm glad you mentioned the fact that Holly looked slower. You mentioned that Dean Thomas said, because I was going to bring that up, but that Dean Thomas was correct, and Cormier and Felder mentioned as well. Holly looked slower than she usually does. You mentioned she is 40 now, which there's not many females that are like 40 that tend to compete. Let's be honest, it's rare to see a woman in her late 30s still competing, let alone in the top 5 and top 10 of a weight class.
But this is what I appreciated about that, is that I saw the clear difference in speed, and she wasn't trying to be Holly Holm of old. She knew in some moments she had to rely on what she's done in the past, and she was still accurate. I know the power wasn't there, but how many front head kicks did she land on Caitlin Vieira? It was numerous of them. And I know the Holly Holm of old, if she catches you with that head kick, it's good night, Irene. But we saw that there was a difference there. She caught Caitlin with it, and maybe I'm not going to attribute it all to just Holly Holm losing power due to age. Caitlin Vieira has a chin. She definitely has a chin. But Holly's accuracy was still there. I like, not only that, but she changed in the fact that she was initiating the grappling. She was going into the clinch, and she knew she had to make it a dirty fight. When I was watching her, like I told you, I'm appreciative of a style of Rocky Pennington, because you may not be the best at everything, but you know how to muck up the fight enough to get it to your advantage. Whenever she got into the clinch, she was doing that to strike a lot more, get a lot more of the strike she wanted to. And then when she broke off, I felt like even in those moments, she got the better of Caitlin. There were moments in the open striking department where Caitlin got the better of her, yeah, and I give her rounds 2 and 4, but I really thought that Holly Holm rounds 1, 3, and 5.
I feel like I think we're in disagreeing this, you and I. I think I thought Caitlin did enough to win. I think Holly in the clinch did exactly a lot of damage, personally, to really like take it away from Caitlin Vieira, in my opinion. But this was like I said, very controversial fight, very close fight. Either way, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't see any of these two girls being the winner of Amanda Nunes and Julian Pena. I just gotta be honest with you. I don't. I think Kevin Vieira probably loses to both girls. I'm just gonna be honest. Whoever wins that fight between Pena and Nunes in July, that's just my opinion.
I yeah, I'm not gonna say that. I would say it would have man. I'll say this: the the narcissist in me said that as soon as that decision came down to Caitlyn, I was like, that felt like a Dana White decision, because if there was anyone who would have provided a closer fight at this day and age, it would be the younger Caitlyn Vieira, who's on the come up.
Yeah, she's 20 years younger than Holly Holm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I probably, but I don't know. I like I said, it was close, but I thought Caitlyn won. But at the same time, I didn't see anything that made me go, Caitlyn can win a championship. In my opinion, I know she trains with Andre Pereira, who, I mean, that guy, like the way he was talking, I mean, he was really like in on Caitlyn Vieira, which I don't blame him. Yeah, he's a great coach. He knows what he's doing. But at the same time, I don't. At the same time, I know she trains with him and who's head coach of Jose Aldo, but I don't think she's gonna. I don't like her chances against Pena or Nunes. That's just me. I could be wrong. Like I said, I was wrong. We were wrong about Nunes and Pena, obviously, but still, I gotta see to believe it.
I would say, all right, Nunes, I don't see. I don't think it would be a chance. I think she would have to take an L from Nunes for her to evolve as a fighter. Like that, just it would be like, I don't know. She'd have to see something in the fight against Nunes. But Pena, I think she might have a shot against Pena.
Really?
Yeah, because Caitlyn has a very good power. She, she can mix it up in the grappling. I think she'd have a chance against Juliana Pena. But we shall see. She currently holds the number 2 spot, and she's waiting for the result. And she will most definitely be next up in line.
Yeah, if I was Caitlyn, I'll say backup fighter, get ready in case something happens. God forbid with one of them. She didn't take that much, no damage really. She just slipped right in. If I was her, that's what I would do, be the backup fighter.
But we shall see. That fight isn't gonna happen for some time. Let's move on from that fight though to the next fight on the card. This was a big one. In the welterweight division. Michel Pereira versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. Michel Pereira wins this fight in a split decision. And wow, Michel Pereira, it was a great performance for him. A great performance from Santiago Ponzinibbio too. This was all in all like a just. And I think fight of the night.
This
fight of the night. It deserved it.
It did. Yeah, it totally did.
Definitely deserved it. This was the best fight on the card, bar none. This had the most excitement from both fighters. This was great. Michel Pereira, first of all, I want to salute Michel Pereira, because this is something every fan has been begging for, is that we know he has the athleticism. If he just slows down a little and sees what's in front of him, he could be an amazing fighter. And there's still steps to grow, because his grappling, I know he got taken down only once, and he was able to defend, I think, 3 other shots. So the defense there was 75% on this fight. But wow, this was a different Michel Pereira, consistent with the last one we saw, but more so ever evolving. The body kick was on lock that night.
Yes.
The body kick was there, and it was the bounce, the body kick, the leg kick, the striking. And when he came in to hit Ponzinibbio was shook. Definitely took round 1. Michel Pereira was just on point with just the bounce and just movement. The octagon was his. Ponzinibbio took the center of the octagon. But when I tell you, Michel Pereira was dancing around it and took control of it, it was his. Second round, Ponzinibbio started to come on later on after Michel Pereira was providing a bit of the same thing. But I believe what caught Michel Pereira off was the fact that when he got caught with Ponzinibbio, Ponzinibbio, I think subconsciously, flustering my words a little. I think Michel Pereira started fighting with his own ego. And he felt that when Ponzinibbio caught him with one, he had to catch him with one or two back. And he started gambling with that. So now, later on in the half of the round, Ponzinibbio started to come on and really take over the later half of the round. But I still had to give it to Michel Pereira because he took control of majority of the second round. Then you come into that third round. Ponzinibbio feeling comfortable off the later half of that second round. And it was a firefight in that third round. It was a firefight. I mean, I rewatched it again, and I still don't know who to give that round. I want to edge it to I want to edge it to I really don't know, man. Austin, what say you about this fight?
I agree with almost everything you said. I gave the first 2 rounds to Pereira. The third round, I really don't know the score to. Because that third round was really like the best round probably the whole card. That third round was entertaining, fun, back and forth. I mean, that last 30 seconds, last minute, they were just teeing off like each other, like they were connecting the same amount, and it just was fun. It was a fun fight, fun round. That third round was unbelievable. I didn't know give that round to. But yeah, Michel Pereira won the first 2 in my opinion. But Michel Pereira, like you mentioned, we knew he's athletic. It's just that if he just slowed down, was more patient, didn't just do crazy stuff and just fought a little more conventional, he can do something in his welterweight division. And now he's done it. He's won 5 in a row now. He's gonna be ranked. Ponzinibbio was ranked 14th coming in this fight, and now Michel Pereira takes that ranking away from him, and he moves in the rankings now, 5 in a row, and he's definitely showcasing his talents, his 5-fight win streak, and he definitely looked like he was the better fighter the first round and a half of this fight. Even though Ponzinibbio kept going at him, he just countered a lot of Ponzinibbio stuff and was able to hurt Ponzinibbio. He rocked him in the first round with a minute to go. Ponzinibbio kind of fell forward a little bit, but then got up. And then that mentioned the body kicks. He did well in the body kicks, especially that one where Ponzinibbio was right side was red, like underneath his rib and stuff. It was red. It was really damn, Michel hit hard. And in the second round, he definitely did better in the second. He did well in most of the second round. Dominant, controlled him, was tagging him, hurting him. All at the last bit, Ponzinibbio found his rhythm, was starting to take over, and even rocked Michel Pereira in the final 30 seconds of that fight, if I remember correctly. Then, of course, the third round was back and forth. I mean, both guys were landing, throwing shots, landing each other. And it was just a fun, good fight, very entertaining fight. And this is a big victory. This is definitely Pereira's biggest victory of his career, considering Ponzinibbio was ranked number 14. This is a guy who's main evented a UFC card in Argentina, his home country, where he knocked down Mio Magni back 3.5 years ago. And he beat a guy in Ponzinibbio who's ranked main event before. I mean, coming off a victory too, if I'm mistaken. I forget who he. No, I think he lost. No, I think Ponzinibbio was coming off victory. I don't remember who it was, but yeah, I mean, this was great performance for Pereira. Pereira is definitely showcasing his talents, and for his coaches or longtime support, you gotta be happy seeing him do what he did, finally putting on a consistent win streak and now being an elite welterweight in Ponzinibbio, who I think is elite. Gotta be very happy, Pereira. Also, I do want to mention, anyone thinks Pereira looks way bigger than Ponzinibbio, almost like he should be fighting middleweight. Pereira.
Nah, man, I don't know.
He looks big, super big.
He does look big, but I mean, there are moments where Kamaru Usman looks big for welterweight.
I think he looks bigger than Usman typically does.
Yeah, I know, because he's taller. But there are moments where I feel like Kamaru Usman has so much. All right, look, you remember when Kamaru Usman came out for the Gilbert Burns fight?
Yeah, a little bit.
The amount of muscle he had on for that fight, he looked way too big for the division in that fight. The only fight that I've seen Kamaru Usman kind of look where he looked, right for the division was where he fought Kobe Covington recently, because that one he slimmed down a lot for that fight. I think that one, like, he knew he couldn't carry all that muscle, and he had to be a cardio machine for that fight.
Yeah, sometimes Usman does look big, but Behead too looks bigger than Usman typically does, in my opinion, way bigger.
I mean, I think that's the height. I think that's the height that plays a part into the look, but I think he looks right for the division, man. Especially because now that he's starting to slow things down. He has the gas tank, and I'm starting to see it that if he keeps on this track, he's gonna be a dangerous 3-rounder. It's gonna be to a point where you're gonna have to force him into 5-round fights, because the guy he's so athletically gifted that it's gonna be too much to put him in a 3-round fight against any person, and like, he'd have to main event at some point. I see it coming for him. He just has to continue on this track. I think I love the kicking ability, but like Usman Nurmagomedov, if he gets the striking right with the kicking, and then he can get the grappling defense right along with that, he is just a dangerous opponent for the division.
Yeah, I think so. I think he is. The athleticism, we play everything together. I mean, jeez, that guy's a force. And it's crazy. I mean, another force in this division. We don't have it already with Hamzat and freaking Sherman Ramadan. Wait, am I pronouncing it right?
Shakrad Rakhmonov.
Rakhmonov, yeah, he was ranked number 15, who's gonna fight Neil Magny. Those guys, and then you got Sean Bray, who's undefeated, 14-0. I mean, I was gonna ask, what do you see next for Michel Pereira? Like, what do you want to see him fight next?
I don't know. Give me one moment. Let me look in the.
I think he should fight the Leech, Li Jiang. Leech.
I mean, but Leech is. Does Leech have a fight soon?
Does he?
Give me one moment. I'm gonna check right now.
I mean, this welterweight division is definitely heating up, and it's definitely a great division.
Nah, you're right. The last fight he came off of a loss to Hamzat, so he doesn't have a fight booked right now.
Nah, I'll tell you, maybe the Leech, maybe some people saying him and Wonderboy potentially.
Could be.
I like to see that, Wonderboy against Pereira. Wouldn't mind that.
I mean, we know they both wouldn't go for grappling exchanges, so.
Yeah.
And not only that, that's definitely a way to infuse some new blood into the division, because Kamaru Usman's made a lap.
Yes, yeah. Also, Michael Chiesa, I don't think he has a fight. I don't think he hasn't fought in a while. I'm not sure. I don't think he has a fight coming up. I have Chiesa and Pereira.
Matter of fact, that's closer in number standing, because Chiesa's dropped down in the division. He's 11, and you said Pietro is taking Ponzinibbio's number 14 ranked spot. So yeah, that would be a good fight. And if anything, shoot, maybe we could. You know what? Nah, we could make that a co-main event.
Oh, Chiesa and not Ponzinibbio, excuse me, Pereira fight.
Yeah, that would either be a co-main event, or I might immediately throw Pieta into the gauntlet, make it a 5-round fight against a guy in Michael Chiesa who you know is gonna grapple you. So now you have to be game for that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That's why I thought about the matchup, just to see how you do against a great grappler in Chiesa, who's ranked 2. Definitely a guy who's done well welterweight. Despite last 2 losses, all those losses are to Sean Brady and Luque, Vince Luque, who you and I are both high on, despite his last performance against Bilal Muhammad and the Brave fight. And he won the 3rd round against the Brave fights when he was able to stop the takedowns and keep it standing. Although Pierre, I think, is a much better. He is a better striker than Sean Brady. I mean, if those two were to fight each other, if it's standing, I don't like Brady's chances. I think I got to see more from Brady to stand up before.
But see, here's the funny part. Brady's been talking on Twitter, and he's saying that he's the one name that everyone in the division is scared to call out right now.
Yeah. I mean, many people call him out. I mean, Sean Brady hasn't fought since November, and that is true. I'll just see him fight somebody. But yeah, there's options for Vieira basically, and I do like to see. I wouldn't mind a Sean Brady matchup, but yeah, hopefully Sean Brady gets a fight soon.
Yeah, I mean,
Especially now, considering if you keep the fight stingy, you might have a shot potentially.
oh yeah, but salute definitely to Michel Pereira because this was a wonderful victory for him. This was absolutely wonderful, and this is a guy that we said, as far as basic fundamentals to be a contender in the division and potentially a champion, he has all of that. Now it's between the ears. Can he get it done between the ears? And we see it with every fight. He's evolving as a fighter, and it was just a great fight and his best performance to date. So, without it being a highlight reel, it was his best performance to date because with this and and his last fight, it was just consistency, and that's what we saw. But we could move on from that fight to the next fight on the card. I believe this is in the middleweight division.
Yeah, I think you're right. Middleweight division.
Middleweight division. JEDI and Jaqani versus Dusko Todorovich. JEDI and Jaqani wins this fight. TKO via elbow. JEDI and Jaqani, ladies and gentlemen. This brother is vicious.
Oh yeah.
This brother is vicious.
I mean, you see the still image there. After the elbow, he landed on Todorovich, and this fight. Go ahead.
Go ahead, John. Go ahead. Go ahead.
This fight, Todorovich went for grappling because Todorovich was on the national Serbian wrestling team. I don't think he competed in Olympics. I could be wrong. I know he had an international wrestling career, and he definitely showcased. He definitely was using his wrestling. And give JEDI credit. JEDI was able to do, not allow Todorovich to get on top of him and dominate him on the ground. Despite Todorovich kept the fight mostly grappling, he was able to get up and do well and defend himself. He went for a submission at one point, but Todorovich would get out, and it was a lot of grappling. And Todorovich knew what he wanted to do, keep the grappling, try to tire out JEDI. I'm butchering his last name now.
Jaqani.
Jaqani, excuse me.
Jaqani.
Well, Jaqani, excuse me.
Yes.
And Jaqani was able to, like I said, stuff a lot, be able to do well with the takedowns, with the grappling exchange, despite getting taken out and held there for a little bit. And then it was still in the clock. Jaqani didn't get tired, which Dusko Todorovich was trying to do. But who knows if maybe JEDI would got tired if the fight kept going. But we're not gonna know because Jaqani landed the perfect elbow. I mean, perfect elbow to the temple in the clinch situation. And you and pull up the picture again for those of you watching. The elbow landed right elbow right in the temple, and Todorovich was out. I mean, he fell immediately, and he was out immediately. As Jaqani landed like one or two shots on the bottom just before the ref could tell him.
Nah, the ref didn't even let him. He didn't.
He didn't.
The ref stopped it right there. I had to rewatch that one. Oh my gosh! First of all, salute to JEDI and Jaqani because he came close with securing a Darce choke on Dusko Todorovich while they were on the ground grappling. Like it was very, very close. Really locked in there. Very close, but Dusko was able to fight out of it, keep it in the grappling, and he was just, he like you said, in control of the grappling. And then once JEDI was able to find that little bit of space with 15 seconds left, boom goes the dynamite, and good night, Irene. Sandman,
yeah, that was definitely send him to sleep with the Sandman. And that was just a nasty elbow. What a beautiful elbow. I mean, the elbow game's definitely been utilized a lot more recently, especially in terms of knockouts. Although sometimes fighters don't always get it, but JEDI and Jaqani was able to get it and just put Dusko to sleep. I mean, man, gonna talk about standing out in this card, considering this was the only finish on the main card. Definitely stood out and definitely got impressive. I mean, really impressive knockout on this card. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out because it was damn impressive. Seeing that knockout, it was vicious and whew. Shout out to JEDI.
I mean, from there, I don't want to move on, but we have to. We break down the whole card. Oh, man, that was a vicious knockout. But we can move on from that fight to the next fight on the card. Tabitha Ricci versus Poliana Viana. Tabitha Ricci wins this fight via a unanimous decision. And, I mean, this wasn't a particularly exciting fight.
I didn't see this fight. This is the only fight the main card didn't watch. I didn't see, unfortunately.
Yeah, this really wasn't Tabitha. All right, like here's the crazy part. Let me all right, put back up the significant strike count. You see it as far as the significant strike count. Poliana Viana she wins it.
She threw more and landed more significant strikes. As I can see, 172 thrown, 38 landed for Viana. Whereas 26 landed for Tabitha Ricci, and 75 thrown for Tabitha Ricci.
Right, but then now you look at the control time and the takedowns. 5 of 10 for Tabitha Ricci, and nearly 10 minutes of control time.
I mean, it seemed like she was more accurate with strikes than Viana, just based on the numbers. And did she even rock her?
Huh?
No, I was sorry. I was gonna ask. Did Tabitha Ricci rocked Viana or maybe stumble?
No. I'm gonna tell you what happened and why this. I had to re-put the numbers back up. Sometimes the numbers don't tell the full story. As later on we'll revisit that once again. Poliana Viana essentially spent most of the time deciding that she wanted to be on her back. Tabitha Ricci didn't really invite it like that. So it's a case of them two just, while she's on her back inviting it, Tabitha Ricci's trying to get ground control and side control, but that's what it was. Tabitha Ricci's doing just enough to kick her and keep her on the ground, and Viana clearly, she gave up most of the round just on her back trying to invite the grappling exchange.
So Viana made a mistake in this fight, that's what you're saying?
It was the biggest mistake I've ever seen. She essentially forfeited majority of the fight. And if she watches the tape again, she's going to see it and just go, why did I do that when I was clearly winning on strikes? When it was a stand-up game, she was outstriking Tabitha Ricci. When it's a grappling, if you were that comfortable being on the ground, Tabitha Ricci was going to take you to the ground anyways if you just kept consistent with the striking.
Man, I see. Damn. Yeah, she's based on that. I'm pretty sure she's kicking herself right now, going, "Damn it, I effed up." Her coach.
Because this was.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this was I'm watching this fight, and it was the weirdest fight because I was like, why didn't it seem that exciting to me? And then I realized it's because she essentially forfeited most of the rounds. Just deciding, hey, I wanted to be on my back and invite the grappling, not knowing that if you're on the ground and they're landing those leg strikes, it doesn't matter how many up kicks you deliver, you're not going to win from that position.
Yep, I understand. Yeah.
It's a very, you're putting yourself in very rare air to try and win from that position. It rarely happens. And so that was my analysis on that fight. That was pretty much it with that fight.
Okay, yeah, that definitely, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, not the best game plan for Poliana Viana, not the best game plan.
Yeah. But from there we can move on from that fight to the first fight on the main card. Jun Young Park versus Eric Anders. This was also in the welterweight division, I believe, right?
No, middleweight. Anders is
Middleweight.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right, middleweight. Because I said we've been in agreement that Eric Anders should move up to light heavyweight, and Jun Young Park wins this fight via split decision. A lot of people said that this fight also had some controversy, as we're gonna look at the scorecards here.
Judge, the two judges, Sal D'Amato and Anthony Manis gave the fight to Jun Young Park, while Mike Bell gave gave the fight to Eric Anders with it's the first round. Wait, hang on.
It's 10, the 9, first 10, round.
10, 9, 10. Yeah, but I see in the judges' scorecards there's a lot of I'm sorry.
I'm not even gonna lie. Revisiting this now, I'm sorry for cutting you off. There's a lot of confusion in this. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I was just telling like those who's listening to our podcast like what we're showing. We're showing the judges' scorecards, and Mike Bell and Sal D'Amato have Eric Anders win the first round, while Anthony Manis has Jun Young Park win the first round. But in the second round, you have Mike Bell giving the second round to Eric Anders, while Anthony Manis and Sal D'Amato gave the second round to Jun Young Park. And then the third round, even the third round was kind of confusing because Manis gave 10-9 to Eric Anders the third round, while the other two judges gave it to the round to Jun Young Park 10-9. And I thought Jun Young Park won. I gave round 1 to Anders. I gave round 1 to Anders, and I gave the last 2 rounds to Jun Young Park. I think the Sal D'Amato scorecard was my scorecard basically. If I were to judge, that's how I would judge it. This fight, that's how I would judge the fight. I thought Eric Anders, did more in the first round with his grappling. I mean, he was able to get a takedown in that round. I know he was like, I think he was 3. He attempted like 20 something takedowns. Only got 3 of them, if I'm mistaken.
Something around there, yeah.
Yeah. I know Jun Young Park was able to get up from a lot of them. Well, from all 3 of them, and Anders did some clinch work and was able to do well in the first round. But I feel like in the second round, despite Anders pressing forward, trying to go for the clinch work and more takedowns, he wasn't that successful too in the first round. And Jun Young Park did land a lot of strikes in that second round. And the third round, he was landing a lot more heavier strikes, and Anders was missing a lot of his strikes. Some of them landed, some of them he just missed, and that's why I gave this fight to Jun Young Park, because Park landed more with harder shots, and Anders missed a lot of shots. He landed some, but he missed a lot more than Jun Young Park. And also after the first round, the grappling wasn't working for him as much. That's why I thought the right guy won. That's why I thought Jun Young Park won. It seems like you're agreeing with me, Chef Dan.
Complete agreement there. Once again, Eric Anders after the first round, I think parts of in the first round, he gassed out. He just completely gassed out. So now you see the shots they're not shots to try and take Jun Young Park down. They're shots of just breath relief and getting his air back so he can try and swing again. And he was loading up on a lot of his shots versus Jun Young Park being just very, very clean in his very, very clean in his deliveries. That's Jun Young Park there. Salute to him to getting his victory. But yeah, it was very a lot of clean shots. I'm just in total agreement with you. He won. I'm in agreement with you of the fact that Sal D'Amato's card is closest to what I had in my mind. I thought Eric Anders won the first round, but the second and third round, he was just gassed out. The shots weren't working. I can't give you credit for shots that don't work. And Jun Young Park definitely landed crisper, cleaner shots. I'm in total agreement there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Great guy won. Credit to Jun Young Park getting a victory, and that's the main card of the UFC. The UFC Fight Night in Vegas. Any
is it?
Prelim?
I definitely do. Jonathan Martinez defeats Vince Morales. This was a masterclass. It was via unanimous decision, but wowee. I'm going to tell you right now, after I think the second round, This is how Vince Morales' leg looked.
Oh, oh my. Damn, that leg is freaking. That's a hematoma. It looks like. Yeah, it's gotta be hematoma.
That's a hematoma. That's a hematoma.
Damn, like, oh, that is rough.
He's not mobile for a while now.
Yeah,
he's not training for a while now. Ice hurts, heat hurts, everything hurts. The only thing that would help him right now is some painkillers.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
That was a masterclass in striking. He kept them at distance completely, at the distance he wanted to, and it was just tore him up, and it was his victory completely. A salute, just a huge salute to Jonathan Martinez. That was a great victory there. I know there's a fighter you want to salute. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to salute Chase Hooper on this card. Chase Hooper, who defeats Felipe Corrales via TKO strikes in the third round. And gotta give the guy credit. The guy's 22 years old. I mean, he's the youngest guy in this card, if I'm not mistaken. Got a performance bonus, and it's not. I mean, it's not often you see young, really young guys compete in the UFC, and it will get multiple victories. I mean, Chase Hooper is 22, and I think I know he had won several fights before, and it's always found like amazing to see super young guys in their early 20s get to UFC and win the UFC. Considering it's not often you see super young guys doing that. I mean, this guy 5 years ago was in high school, graduating. Now he's finding the UFC, getting performance bonuses. I mean, that's something. It's hard not to be impressed by that. I mean, I'm trying to think other super young guys. I mean, I know Charles Oliveira started young, the current lightweight champion. Well, not officially, but still, Charles Oliveira was 21, 22 fighting UFC at that. I remember that, and then there's other guys too. I'm probably forgetting, but it's just shout out to him getting a performance bonus in the stoppage, especially at 22. I mean, he looks so young. He looks like a teenager still with that the clean shaven and his physique too.
I mean, it was a dominant performance there. Chase Hooper, his striking was very, very good. You see, there's an evolution, a natural evolution, and that's why there's so much fun in watching Chase Hooper. And the fact that he is winning, you can tell it's great that we see him grow in the organization. And everyone kept all the top fighters, your favorite fighters, kept commenting on Chase Hooper about how people just don't understand this kid is growing in the sport, and he hasn't even gotten the strength that he needs to yet to truly compete, and he's getting all the necessary skills. But this was a dominant performance by Chase Hooper. On the striking, he still has to grow, but we saw the growth. And then in the grappling, it was just a masterclass in his grappling. His jiu-jitsu was just A1, perfect. So salute to him.
Yeah, salute to him. Yeah, I know he's got grappling background. He's been in BJJ tournaments before, so yeah, shout out to him. He's got good grappling.
Yeah, another fighter that I want to salute, Jailton Almeida. He defeated Parker Porter in the heavyweight division, and this was a dominant performance. He done completely dominant. Let me give you the strike count.
I see it. Yeah. I mean, what the wait? Parker didn't land a single strike at all.
Didn't throw a single strike. Didn't land a single strike.
That's domination. That is dominant. I mean, how you more dominant than that? You choke him out within a round. Your opponent doesn't throw a single punch, a single strike. I mean, the only thing more dominant is Hamza Chimaev when he first came in, where he only got hit once in his first 3 fights. I mean, damn, my gosh. Jailton Almeida, shout out to him.
And it's not even his division. He prefers fighting at light heavyweight, but his opponent, they didn't have an opponent for him. And Parker Porter's opponent, I think, withdrew. So he decided to step up in the heavyweight division, see what he could do with, the extra weight he put on. And it was just aggressive straight from the start. Bink, bink, get him down. I'm a keep him in control on the ground. As soon as Parker Porter decided he needed to get up, he gave up his back. As soon as he gave up his back, rear naked choke instantly. Salute to Jailton Almeida.
Damn.
Another fight I would.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just still go.
You know what? Let me put it up one more time so you can see it. Ladies and gentlemen that are listening to us, total strikes for Jailton Almeida, 36 of 58. Significant strikes, 18 of 34. Head strikes, 16 of 32. Body, 2 of 2. No leg kicks. And just control time of like 4 minutes and 29 seconds of a 5-minute round. And Parker Porter's got straight donuts everywhere.
Yep. 4 minutes 35 seconds, not throw strike. Damn, man, I just can't believe that. 4 minutes 35 seconds. Jeez. Short. I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chef Dan. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Nah, it was just it's dominant. I know sometimes domination will just take your breath away.
Yep.
But the salute to Jailton Almeida. He got that victory. Another victory I wanted to salute in the preliminaries. There's a lot of good victories in the preliminaries. Joseph Ugly Man Holmes.
Wait, that's his nickname, Ugly Man?
Ugly Man.
Okay, alright.
But it was not an ugly victory.
Nope.
A rear naked choke in the first round. Joseph Holmes, it was smooth operator with his striking, with the way he initiated, with the way he was defensive and was able to reverse the grappling and get it into his favor and ultimately get the rear naked choke and submitted his opponent. But yeah, Joseph Ugly Man Holmes defeated Alan Amodovsky, and it was a smooth, beautiful victory. Like DC said, his name is Ugly Man, but it was not an ugly victory.
Damn. Jeez, that give him credit. I mean, 1 minute over a minute, you got submission over a minute. I mean, that's not ugly about that victory. Shout out to Joseph Ugly Man Holmes. I mean, I say that I don't recall someone calling himself ugly and still like, no, I'm trying to how I wrote this. When I had a nickname, I thought of the Biggie line, black and ugly ever, coochie down to the rocks. In that one song where he called himself ugly. I feel like it's like Biggie almost with Joseph Holmes.
Yeah, so, it's like a disarming mechanism.
Yes, there we go. That's what I'm saying. I haven't seen someone disarm themselves like that since Biggie back in '95.
So it just a beautiful victory there. But all in all, this card was a great card. It was a great card.
Yeah,
I think I think the preliminaries had a lot of finishes. Preliminaries were great, kept me entertained all the way into the main card. The main card didn't have a lot of finishes, but the one it did have was very exciting. The
co-main event.
The fights were exciting. The main event was very controversial. It wasn't as exciting, but there was some controversy there, and there was some, all in all, it was a lot of action. As I'm gonna put up also some other pictures of the main event there. Holly Holmes landing a head kick, something I talked about. Caitlin Vieira landing that spinning back elbow on Holly Holmes. That one was, I think, was in the 4th round.
Yeah, okay, that was that. Yes, that was what. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised. Damn, give Holly credit for still having a chin. I don't know, maybe
because she moved forward after it. She didn't stumble back.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I would say now Vieira maybe didn't give all the power force that she wanted to, because she almost got. I would say surprised she didn't pull Molly McCann against her opponent back in London. That beautiful spin elbow. As you see Vieira there laying a head kick herself on Holly Holm.
We also talked about Tail of the Strikes.
Yep. Holly drew more, landed more. Of toe strikes.
There's even more control time.
Right. Even Vieira did land a takedown, which I forgot till now. She did get a takedown on.
She was
She did,
able,
like,
yep.
a judo, yeah, like a judo type of takedown, like a judo throw.
And
Right.
that was the scorecards once again from very controversial main event.
Yeah, yep, the three I see there, the judges scorecard, Salamaro, Mike Bell, and Derek Cleary. And yeah, controversial, but it's MMA. Sometimes you get controversial fights.
It is what it is, and we got to move on with the results. And we shall see if the victories were truly that, or what we feel in our hearts is what it is. But all in all, it's like we said, a great fight. Salute also to Sam Hughes. She defeated Elise Reeds via TKO, elbows to the head from the ground. Like, she was just on top the entire time through grappling. Sam Hughes was aggressive, got it done. So, salute to her. It was just vicious elbows on top. Had Elise bleeding and just complete domination. Also, salute to Uros Medic.
Got TKO via strikes in the second round against Omar Morales. 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Round 2, 3 minutes and 5 seconds in the second round. Yeah,
but all in all, great weekend of MMA.
Yeah, good. Yeah, very good. Very good. Legal FC on Friday nights, despite the main event ending with injury, and then the co-main event, no contest. Still was good. And then even Saturday, you mentioned the prelims were very good. The main card has, the co-main event and the middleweight fight were really good. The main event has controversy, but it is what it is. It still was overall good solid event, especially the main card in pre-entertaining prelims. So
I was entertained. Were you entertained?
Yes, I was entertained.
Most definitely. All right. There is nothing to discuss as far as next week because there's going to be no Bellator, no UFC, no
PFL,
no PFL. Yeah, everything's kind of just taking a hiatus. So we will take a hiatus along with them, but we will be back to discuss the next card in UFC. I believe that's Volkov versus Rosenstruik, right?
Yes, that's next Saturday. And next Saturday at 4 o'clock it starts, the main card.
Yep. That's going to be fight night on fight night, but it's really being held in the daytime. We will break that down, but after that, there's nothing else really for us to say. We hope that we can see you guys again. We do see some comments in the chat, so we do have to shout out some people there. To the people joining us on YouTube, watching along with us, thank you guys so much. First comment I want to read is from Angelo Philippopoulos. My guy, he joins us on the Ranger watch-alongs. Said, Chef Dan, you the man. Love UFC big time. Pereira was a great fight. Holm got ripped off. Let's go Mets. Good stuff, guys. Talk to you later. Thank you guys so much for joining us, Angelo.
Yeah, Angelo.
I'm in we both in agreement with you there that Pereira had put on a great performance. Him versus Ponzinibbio was a great fight. I agree with you that Holm got ripped off. Austin disagrees with you, but we shall see later on. And we're always I think me and Austin in agreement here. Let's go Mets. That's some good stuff there.
Well, yeah, I hope the Mets do well, but I am a Yankee fan, so. But I hope the Mets do well though, unless they play the Yankees. But yeah, go Mets.
Yeah, most definitely. And the SNL, we can't really highlight it because it has some controversial, but we can't put it up because we want the kids to watch as well. But you say so many people are talking ish about this card. I thought it was dope. Yeah, if anyone disagrees with you, I don't see why. It was a great card. It was a great card.
I think maybe the controversy ruined it for some people, but it wasn't a terrible card at all. It was not terrible. I mean, I know the controversy puts a sour notes in like these cards sometimes with bad judging decisions if you feel it was, but it wasn't terrible at all, not really.
Yeah, none of the fights to me were at any point boring or made me want to, not be interested in it. It was a great fight. It was a great card.
Right, yeah, and I think that's everyone that commented on the chat, I believe.
Yeah, most definitely. But join us next time, whether that be on a podcast platform, that be Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Spreaker, or you can
Reason
join us
FM.
on video here. Yeah, what else you say?
I said Reason FM.
Yeah,
Anchor FM.
Anchor FM. Join us on, or whether you're joining us on podcast platform or you're joining us here on YouTube, where you can see some of the pictures of what happened that went live, and we even have some of the scorecards that we could discuss about it. Thank you guys so much for joining us on MMA Weekly, where we break down all the punches, the kicks, the knees, strangles, and all of that.
Missions, elbows, all of that. We cover all of that, yeah.
All of that. Thank you guys so much for joining us. From myself, I want to say thank you and peace out. Austin, you can take the last word.
Thank you guys for joining us and listening to us, whether it be audio podcast platforms or on YouTube, whether it be live or replay. We appreciate the love and support. Thank you guys for watching us. We're just two guys just breaking down the sport we love. We're no different from you guys. We just cover the sport we love, whether it be MMA. And we appreciate the love and support all y'all give us, whether it be on the MMA videos or the channel period, especially if we move close to 5,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for love and support, and happy Memorial Day to, next Monday's Memorial Day. Early happy Memorial Day to all Americans out there for celebrating Memorial Day, to American viewers, and hopefully you guys have a safe, have a fun week, good week, stay safe, and also happy belated birthday, Bruce Buffer. Bruce Buffer did not work this card. Saturday was his birthday. He turned 65. I want to give a shout out to Bruce Buffer, the legend.
The legend. Thank you, and thank you once again for that interview you gave us, Bruce. Thank you so much for being a supporter of the channel, and happy birthday to you, and I hope you enjoyed it, man. Take your night off. I know he's still a fan. He probably watched the card anyways.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Shout out to Bruce Buffer. Happy birthday. We enjoy having you, and hopefully 65 years old, but he still feels like young. 65 years young, I should say. Has that youthful spirit with him.
Most definitely. Thank you so much, and peace out, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great night.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are